this week's discussion of Downton Abbey.
This season is getting pretty crazy.
Isn't it, though?
It's like,
it's awesome.
In the past, it would be like, oh, scandalous. Oh, scandalous. But this is like, where do I look?
So many scandals. It's like Scandal.
Pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about some of the major highlights of this episode. Episode 3.
Well, let's talk about Mary and Tony's not-so-secret sex trip to Liverpool.
It was a sex trip. So they thought that they were being all undercover
Discreet?
and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they ruin it just as they're leaving. Sprat, the Dowager Countess's butler, spots them right outside of the hotel just as Mary's about to get into her car. And, he told the Dowager Countess because he doesn't want the family's reputation to be ruined.
Exactly.
He was all, my lady.
He's so crazy. I love him.
Yeah, so everyone is kind of suspicious about this trip. Edith is all like, let's see those sketches, bitch.
Mary's just like,
Whatever.
everybody wants to know what's going on.
Well, the Dowager Countess knows exactly what was going on, so she calls her up. She's like, get to my house tomorrow.
Oh dear, get over here right
Come over
away.
to my mansion.
Sit on a cushion.
Yeah, so
Right.
she's basically like, Mary, you need to get your act together. This is disgraceful. What are you doing? And then Mary's like, oh, well, he's going to propose or whatever. He already did. And she's like, oh, okay.
Well, that's a horse of a different color now, isn't it?
She's still pissed, though.
All right, well,
It seems like Mary is definitely not into Tony anymore.
no,
Wouldn't you
she
say?
is not.
She revealed that to Tom, and Tom's
I'm
like,
kind
yeah.
of wondering why. Perhaps
Maybe
he
just
likes
sucks.
things a certain way and she does not.
I don't need to know, but the thing is, it's not working out. So that's not the end of that story, though, because now Mary's like, hey, Anna, hide my contraceptives or whatever. It's not a big deal.
Oh, rude. She hands it to her in that same paper bag that she bought it in. I would have been like,
Do you have a freaking, what's it called? Like
Case?
a hazmat suit for this?
why didn't she just stick it between her mattresses or something?
I don't know. She didn't want anyone to find it, so Anna's like, if I have to, whatever, you're a sinner.
Well,
So
well, Anna's got bigger things to worry about because the
Yeah.
police are sniffing around looking for baits.
they want to question him because apparently Mr. Green was telling his co-workers that he did not have a good time at Downton, and it's Mr. Bates's fault.
Well, the police guy, the officer, is having a bad trip because he can't get, why have you come here, out of his mind.
Yeah, a witness came forward saying that they heard that at the scene.
He's starting to put 2 and 2 together, and he's actually
Seems
coming
like
up with
it could
4.
be a suspicious death.
Woo! All right. Well, Mrs. Patmore, she wants to call in a favor.
Yeah, the whole drama surrounding her nephew and his
He's a deserter.
deserting came up again, and she's like, yeah, they're not going to put his name on the memorial in his hometown.
It's going to be a disgrace.
So she knows Mr. Carson, obviously, who is the head of this memorial
committee. Right.
So she's like, hey, can you help me out here?
Well, she didn't ask him directly. She asked the housekeeper. She's like, oh, I know you can wrap him around your little finger.
Mrs. Hughes is like, what? Yeah, I can. But Carson said no, not even Mrs. Hughes could convince him. So he's like, there's no way, it's not happening. So there was some major tension.
I'm going to have to agree. It's not fair. It's not fair for the people who sacrificed.
I could see pros and cons, you
Yeah.
know, both ways.
All right.
It's tough.
It is tough. But Edith, ooh, she's having her own problems.
Of course.
She's really becoming the giant 800-pound gorilla in the room at the farmer's house.
Yeah, she's trying to spend more and more time with Marigold. She's babysitting. She's just popping in. And
Well, Mrs.
Robert
Drew's
totally called this.
getting pissed.
Yeah, Robert was like, oh, I hope she doesn't piss off the mother. Yeah, she did.
All right, well, you all know that when Mama's not happy, no one's happy. So
It's true.
Mr. Drew is like, you better get your ass out of my house and keep it out for a little while because my wife is possessed.
Yeah, that didn't end well.
No, it didn't. She
All right.
ran upstairs crying to her room, and everyone's like, Lady Edith, Lady Edith,
Milady.
what's going on?
One day I want to do
what is that
Italia.
liquid coming from your eyes?
Yeah. Milady. Milady.
All right, well,
Cora,
she's got some problems of her own, too.
she's off to London. She's having a great time. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, she's got lots of choices right now.
Yeah, first she's got to address the whole Baxter situation. She wants to know the rest of the story, or she's going to have to let Baxter go.
All right, so what were they at National Gallery?
Well, before that,
Right.
Baxter reveals the rest of her story, and then later on, I think it was like the next day, Cora's like, okay, you can stay, because who hasn't stolen jewelry for some guy before, and then he bailed on her.
Well, I think she meant who hasn't had a guy bail on them before. So
Yeah, so
you
she's
made
like,
a stupid mistake.
"You
It's
can
behind
stay."
you. You do hair really well. I like you.
You have a sewing machine.
Besides, where else are you gonna work?
All right.
All right, so she cleared that up. That's put to bed, literally. Mr. Baxter. Oh,
Mr. Baxter.
not Mr. I'm sorry.
Mr. Bricker.
Mr. Breaker.
Oh my gosh. Cora took him up on his offer. They went to the National Gallery together. And boy, he is laying it on thick.
Wasn't he in the Spice Girls movie?
I don't know. Maybe.
think he might have
I haven't
been.
seen it in a while.
He is warm for her form. He's throwing all kinds of compliments. He's like, you are a freaking art genius.
He's like, you're beautiful. You're the smartest person I know.
that has a vagina. And
What do you think of this painting? Let's go to dinner. So she's like, oh, I couldn't do that. What about Rosamond?
oh, all right. And he's like, well, we'll try and get you home before midnight.
What kind of dinner are you eating? What?
All right.
Is there a second dinner involved as well? Because that's pretty late.
She didn't know that Robert was going to surprise
Yeah,
her.
his meeting was canceled. He's like, I'm going to shoot over to London and surprise my wife.
Well, when she got home from her supposed date,
I
He
mean,
was
it basically
waiting.
was a date.
nothing went on though. She was totally
kind of a
classy
date,
about
though.
it. She was just like, you know what? I appreciate the admiration,
It's got to end here.
but I'm going to have to slap down the wiener.
No!
Yeah, that's right.
All right, well, Robert was pretty pissed when she got back. He was like, where have you been, beach?
And never you mind about anything that's important. You're just my beach.
He was basically insulting her. He was like, come on, get real. Why would anyone want to hear what you have to say about art? Especially,
An expert.
yeah. And she was just like, oh no.
I don't know. What about that chick that you tried to bed down that used to work at the house?
All right, let's keep it moving.
All right.
So, back at Downton, Rose is hosting a tea party for the Russian refugees.
And it's going great until Sarah Bunting shows up with her big, ugly mouth.
Of course, she almost ruins everything because that's what she does. She wasn't even supposed to be there.
She opens her mouth, she insults the Russians, they want to leave, and then Robert's like, look away, look away, look away.
Well, Cora's
look."
like, check out these
Yeah.
relics we have here.
Yeah, I had them brought up.
I thought she said Robert did.
Well, I was being Robert.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You didn't
Yeah.
sound like it. Which is a good
Okay.
thing.
Yes, thank you. All right, so
More importantly, at this tea, we find out that, to quote Mary, Granny has a past.
the Dowager Countess knows how to get it on.
What is going on there? We meet the mysterious Prince Karagin, who I guess gave her a fan at this ball.
She was hot. It was blazing inside. There was icicles outside, and it was hot as hell inside.
They were steaming it up.
Yeah, you know what? I don't find that to be a big deal.
Well, maybe you will in the future. We'll see. But he was at the tea. Isn't that crazy? What?
He was like, oh, this is that fan I gave you.
We're going to see more of him, so get excited.
You know what? Good for Granny. That's pretty cool.
Let us know what you guys thought of this episode. Do you think that Mary should dump Tony?
Hell yes. Do you think the Dowager Countess should hook up with the prince?
We'll see.
Hell yes.
Yeah, and let us know what you think about the whole Cora Simon Bricker situation.
And what about Lady Edith?
What's she gonna do?
Cry in her bedroom for 10 million years.
Well, as long as she doesn't start another fire.
All right. So hang in there, kids, and we'll see you next week. Till then, much love.
Edit.
Hey!